What's up guys, welcome back to the Home Slice. We're here with another dual grit test. Very interesting findings so far. Testing dual grit edges on Mr. ANDE, the near-death experience rope. This is a 40mm manila rope. I do a slicing aggression test at a 45-degree angle to transfer force down into this scale, hopefully. It's a bit of a janky setup. And then we go through the 40mm manila rope as many times as we can, testing with the best machine after each pass or each time through. And then we finish up with a toughness test where I pound the edge into a pine piano leg with a 5 kg dumbbell. So very interesting results so far with the dual grit edges. The dual grit edges have outperformed all the other edges so far. It's not surprising that because this is a rope test. It probably would be closer results or lean more towards the fine edges if we were doing like a cardboard test, because this is very much a slicing test, not so much a push cutting test. But anyway, the original dual grit edge with 250 grit diamond plate and King 6000 grit stone on each side, all stropped on denim. That edge performed like an ultra fine edge, like a fine edge that just lasted longer and stayed more aggressive than any of the other fine edges. Then I tried out one that was the same, except I substituted the fine stone for Spyderco ultrafine ceramic. And that particular edge tested like an ultra cleaned up, insanely long lasting coarse edge. So the final two fine stones that I have to substitute through that I'm familiar with, I'll do some more videos with some fine stones that I just bought once I get a little bit more experience on them. But it's this cheap Amazon, I think ANDE was the brand. It's got ruby on one side, which is estimated at about 1,000 grit, and it's got agate on the other side, which they say is 10,000 grit, but it's very fine. So I'm very excited because this edge is done on the ruby, and the ruby tested out very close around the 250 gram best mark, which is very close to what the ordinary 250 grit on both sides diamond plate edge did. So I'm wondering if this is just going to perform like a coarse edge or if this is going to be the most aggressive edge so far. I have no idea, but I'm very, very excited to try it out. So let's get into it and we'll see how the results look. So 3 kg, pretty much like all the others. Okay, feels like a dual grit edge, very aggressive, pretty smooth. Definitely was not as easy as the original or the Spyderco edge to get through the first time. Felt closer to your sort of 250 grit edge, but we'll see what the best has to say. .328. Not bad, not bad. Let's do it again. Okay. Twice through. Man, the aggression is so good on these dual grit edges, just all of them, which is really cool. I wasn't sure if dual grit was a phenomenon that was specific only to the King 6000 grit and the Easy Lap 250 grit stone. So I actually have worried that like it's a bit of a more pigeonholed effect created by a specific stone. But these results are consistent. Man, they're consistently aggressive. And they're pretty durable as well. Okay, 471 with the ruby stone. I would say the aggression is still there, but the edge keenness is suffering. So this is much more similar. This actually, the second rope cut test was 470 exactly on the Easy Lap 250 grit stone. So the ruby stone has created an edge that's very similar to just the 250 grit stone. Interesting. It's not a bad edge. I probably won't continue testing it just because the results from the original and the ultrafine were so much better. But let's do the slicing kgs and then let's do the toughness test to see where we're at, and then we'll close up. Okay, now my assumption on this is that this result will be pretty good because this edge has only gone through ANDE twice, so it hasn't gone through 6 times, so it should be less than the others, even though we've lost some of that edge keenness as evidenced by the best. Yeah, that jumped up to about 6 when I went through. So obviously you lose less aggression if you do 1/3 of the work. But that's sort of in line. Like if it had been still 3, that would have been like a real outlier. But I think something like 6 is probably somewhat to be expected. If one of them goes through the rope, 5-6 times and then is still only 5 kg, then I think we have something to talk about. Then we may have evidence of an edge that retains slicing aggression in a superior way. All right, let's get this toughness test done. 5 kg dumbbell, piano leg. Here we go. So a good result would be to not lose much off of that previous number of 471. A normal result would be to lose 50 to 80, 60 to 80 grams off of them. So let's see. $545. So 545 is a loss of about 74, yeah. So a pretty normal result. Normal edge toughness, not exceptional edge toughness. Okay. Okay guys, this is the numbers for this test. The edge that I just tested is over on the far right. You can see the initial sharpness, how many times it cut the rope, the slicing aggression, average best score throughout the test from every reading, and the amount that it lost during the impact test where it gets bashed into the piano leg. You can compare that to the best edges so far. All the way on the left, we've got the best fine edge, which didn't last the longest, but had the smoothest slicing action, followed by the original dual grit edge next to it, which was just as smooth but cut a little bit longer, followed by the Spyderco Ultrafine dual grit edge, which cut a very insanely long time but was not as smooth, more aggressive. Okay, well, we'll probably wrap it up there, but I would say our top contenders so far are original dual grit on account of long-lasting smoothness and efficient cutting, then the Spyderco Ultrafine for incredibly long-lasting aggression. I would not recommend that you make a dual grit edge with a ruby stone because you don't gain that much over just creating an edge with your coarse diamond stone. Anyway, if you want to see the last test where the Spyderco Ultrafine blew my mind, you can check it out here. For all the rest of you, I'll say peace out from the home slice. You guys take care.